And we're gonna start things off with a little acceleration. Now I've got it in the Baja mode. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're going to be going over a 2021 Ford Bronco Badlands finished in rapid red. First and foremost, so a huge shout out and thank you to the Large Miller Ford Lincoln here in Provo for giving me some time with this Bronco. Check out the inventory link below. Let's get right into the video. So under the hood we have a turbocharged 2.7 liter V6 that goes through a 10-speed automatic transmission. Power outputs are 330 horsepower and then 425 pound-feet of torque, with fuel economy being 17 around town and then 17 on the highway. Now let's go over the front end of the Bronco. So first off, I want to focus here on this paint color, and that's the main reason why I reviewed this today. Well, it's a Badlands, that's also cool, but like this color looks so good, especially in person. I didn't like this in pictures or on video, but seeing this in person now, it's just fantastic and it really works with the Bronco. So yeah, definitely recommend. Anyways, we've got the full LED lights right here with the accent lighting, and then the Bronco logo there in the center with the camera right there. And then the bumper here in the Badlands, I really like. So the bumper in the first edition kind of pops up. This in the Badlands doesn't, and it kind of like cleans things up with the front end. It doesn't look as aggressive, but it still looks really good. There's parking sensors integrated into it. You've got tow hooks as well. We've got the whole skid plate action happening underneath. So it's got all the good stuff, and that's all for the front. Now coming on the side here, we've got 17-inch wheels, and we've got 35s wrapped around that in the front and over in the rear. These wheels are beadlock capable, look fantastic. It's part of the Sasquatch package. And then we have the Bilstein position sensitive shocks that also come with the Sasquatch package. And there's a quick look at the tires. Oversized fender flares, and then we have the Badlands Sasquatch logo that you get, and you got a little Sasquatch there at the bottom. And then you guys can see the mirrors and the door handles all match, as well as the top. Now this one does have a hard top, if you guys were wondering, and that's your full side view. Now here is the key fob. You got the Bronco logo on the back. You've got the unlock, the lock, the remote start as well. And we're gonna go over the back end and then we'll pop inside of the back first. But you guys can see the taillights here with the turn signals as well. They look great. And the hard top really just makes everything look fantastic with the Bronco, I've noticed. But opening it up, we obviously have the double hinge there with that. And wait a second, now we can open up the window. And you guys can see the storage space here in the back, and then just underneath. And then you guys can see here for the top to store that, which is all fun. There is a 12-volt right there, and then you can put this down. And then a lot easier to close than it is to open. But finishing things up, obviously you've got the spare tire on the back with the camera there in the center. You've got the recovery hooks down there, and then you've got the receiver hitch. And then we can see the Bilstein position sensitive shocks here from the back end perspective. And yeah, that's all for that. Now let's go over the interior on this particular Badlands. So you can see you've got the gray here on the door panel, and then notice the orange accenting. And then you can see here at the seats, you've got the leather seats, again with the orange accenting. The seats are black themselves, and then that orange continues there. And then you've got the window controls here in the center with the charging ports, all that fun stuff. But there's a quick look at the back, so see ya. Now here's the door panel at the front. Again, you've got the gray with the orange accenting, and then same thing here with the seats. You've got the black here with the orange accentings at the front. They are power adjustable. Got the pedals down below, and then notice here we've got the hood latch release. You've got the parking brake light controls just up above, and then you can see the orange accenting with the Bronco logo right there, and then on the vents, and then the grays all over the dash. And there's where I'm gonna look before we pop in. So I'm going to quickly go over things in the interior because I've gone over many Broncos at this point. We got the leather wrap steering wheel with all of the controls on either side. This does have adaptive cruise control, turn signal / windshield wiper stock, and then we have the full digital gauge, well not full because I guess you have the gauge cluster off the side, but you know, mostly digital gauge cluster with the different drive modes. Now thing with the Badlands is this does have the Baja mode, so there's no sport mode, but there is a Baja mode. You guys are wondering, the very end one is the rock crawl mode. Now I actually did take a Badlands off-road, and let me tell you, this thing is a monster off-road. But that's everything for that portion. And then the other thing that's cool about the Badlands, you have the front stabilizer bar disconnect, you have front and rear lockers, trail turn assist, stability control, and then the hazard light button. This one's got the 12-inch display because it's fully loaded. So you can see you've got the camera system with all of the different viewpoints here with the camera itself. And then you've got the front camera as well, so there's a little camera button that we can pop on for that. And then you can put trail lines, like when you have it in 4-wheel low, it'll automatically put the trajectory lines. It'll help with crawling, so that is all fun. And you guys know, huge fan of the screen, works great. I've got it in my new Raptor and I love it. We've got analog radio controls and then climate controls. This has dual zone climate, heated seats for the front, heated steering wheel. And then you guys can see the outlet right there. And then we've got our little Ford plaque right here. Shifter for the 10-speed automatic. We've got our drive mode select here with our drive line select as well, and then kind of like your off-road cruise control. A couple cup holders. Window controls right here, and then the mirror adjustment. And then you can see here with the center console. Definitely nice. And then again, Bronco logo right there. Then you guys can see the glove box and then the grab handle there. And then we have all of the auxiliary switches, all 6 of them. And then again, this is the hard top, so you can take off these 2 front pieces. The back, you do have to use tools, but not a difficult thing to do at all. So here's our window sticker on this Bronco. Sorry, there's a ton of glare, so you guys can't see anything. But anyways, total MSRP is $61,045 before any type of market adjustment. And let's take it out and see how it drives. Let's talk about visibility before you set off here on the Bronco. There's your visibility over the hood, both the mirrors that do have blind spot, and then throughout the rest of the rear. And let's set off. So we're setting off here in the Bronco, and we're gonna start things off with a little acceleration. Now I've got it in the Baja mode, so I'm partial throttle. Yes, I understand you're supposed to use the Baja mode for just off-road use, but guess what? You can still technically use it on road. I know there's some people that might get upset, but just like the Raptor, it's a high-speed driving mode. It basically is all about the engine and transmission. With the Raptor, it's a little bit about the shocks too, with how it changes, how that interacts with the environment. And so, again, you technically can use it on road. Now, why would you ever use the Baja mode on road? The reason that you would use the Baja mode on road actually is because of rough roads. Now, these roads aren't a perfect example because they are super smooth, but on terrain that's really rough on road where the road's really beat up, then a mode like this is actually great because, right, it's meant for going over bumps and dampening and everything. And so it'll actually give you a really nice compliant ride quality. So yeah, there's that. We're gonna go back into the normal mode now, and it'll do the driveline switch. And you guys can see just how easy it is to change the drive modes in the Bronco. It's just like, boom, different drive mode and good to go. Took like 5 seconds for that to happen. But yeah, ride quality is great here with the Badlands Sasquatch. And I also just want to show you guys like the adjustability on this, just how easy it is to just use all around. So continuing along here in the Bronco, let's kind of talk about the daily driver stuff here with the hardtop Sasquatch. So first off, with the hardtop, noise insulation is actually pretty good, and then with the Sasquatch, tire noise is actually not bad whatsoever. It's pretty manageable overall, and the seats are actually pretty comfortable. I got the heated seat function on right now because it's a colder day, and it's working great, keeping my butt warm, so that is fantastic. And the seats overall, they've got a good amount of support to them, and they're also soft enough that they're comfortable over long periods of time in travel. And then aside from that, the Bronco's not massive, so it's easy to maneuver in traffic. It's a comfortable daily driver, and especially you know, comparing this to its competitor, the Wrangler, it just does a really good job with the daily driver stuff. I'd say that this feels a little bit more daily drivable than a Wrangler. It's a little bit better on road overall, which is a big positive. And I guess we got to get into the topic of, you know, today's video, and that is, you know, should you really pay the price premium for these Broncos? And I know a lot of the keyboard warriors are going to be getting down and saying, no, you should never pay over MSRP for anything. Well, that's not the reality that we live in. So here's the deal. If you're lucky enough to get your order accepted and you're lucky enough to get an early allocation, then you are a very lucky human being indeed. However, for the rest of you out there that have gotten, you know, maybe put in an order and you have an allocation that's not going to happen for years, right? you have to understand that production with vehicles is probably still going to take quite some time to get up back to normal, especially the Bronco, especially considering the demand with the Bronco. And so with all that being taken into consideration, you know, if it's something that you really can't wait for, then paying over sticker makes sense, and that's, you know, the market demands it. And that's why these Broncos have that price premium. So that being said, right, the price premium has changed quite a bit. So initially, people were asking well over 6 figures for the Broncos. Actual transaction prices were not around there. Most of the Broncos were actually transacting in the $80,000 range for these nice loaded up Sasquatches. And so that's just the current market value. And so if you want a Bronco now, you don't want to wait years to have it, or, you know, wait years for your order to potentially never get accepted, then yeah, it makes sense to pay over sticker for one. And at, you know, $80,000, what's the rating for this Bronco? Is it still worth it? And you know, that's, you know, Ford Raptor money, for example, just to give you an idea. And here's what I'd have to say. At $80,000, I would rate this a little bit lower than what I originally rated it. So, you know, at the $60,000 price, this basically got like almost a perfect score, like 9.5 out of 10. I would dock it by about, you know, 1 point. So it's still a really high score, 8.5 out of 10. But that's not nearly as much as the 9.5 out of 10. And again, that's because of the extra $20-something thousand dollars they're getting tacked on to these Broncos right now. But again, supply and demand, folks. That's gonna sum things up for our video on this 2021 Ford Bronco Badlands with the Sasquatch package. Again, a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry Schmiller Ford Lincoln here in Provo for giving me some time with this Bronco. Check out the inventory link below. I'll see all of you in the next video.